It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
Let's go to McDonald's, everybody. McDonald's, always a favorite. McDonald's is the site of our first Florida story because somebody got angry at McDonald's.
Not again.
Yes, it happens, Kim. You know, they go to the Golden Arches, McDee's, with an expectation of fine service. They go there with an expectation of delicious food. And sometimes those expectations are not met. And when they're not met, oftentimes people react in extraordinary ways, particularly within Florida. An irate Florida woman pointing a loaded gun at a terrified McDonald's staffer.
What?
This is a dispute over a free cookie.
Oh, stop it.
Yes, well, I mean,
We have processes and protocols and standards.
yes, where's my free cookie? I thought that's part of the process, protocol, and standard. Amari Hendricks is her name, 24 years old. She was in the drive-thru of an Alamonte Springs McDonald's when she began arguing with an employee about her right to a complimentary cookie. The staffer eventually handed over the baked treat to appease Hendricks, but the gesture did little to calm the situation. The argument continued.
Why are you yelling?
Police said she pulled out a black handgun, inserted a magazine, racked the slide, and pointed the firearm at the drive-thru worker.
If you get it in order, you get extra points.
She pulled out a black handgun, she inserted a magazine, racked the slide, pointed the firearm at a drive-thru worker. The abrupt escalation startled staffers. They retreated into the restaurant's interior and attempted to lock the front door. But Hendricks was able to get inside, Kim. She wasn't done.
No.
She assaulted this guy who was the worker, scratched his face and neck. A colleague then called 911 and cops arrived. Initially, the woman with the gun refused to comply with officers' demands. Eventually, though, she was taken into custody. This all started over a complimentary cookie.
My bad. I'm sorry.
I mean, how angry do you have to be? Wow.
To pull a gun over a cookie.
This is a man with anger. This is a man that has resentment towards you.
She got the cookie, but she wasn't finished. She was so angry that she wanted to get into.
Can you let him finish,
She
sir?
wanted to get into the restaurant to get some retribution or something. I don't know what it was about. What's your problem at that point?
Are you mad that you had to ask for the cookie? You didn't get the cookie in a timely fashion?
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol involved.
Well, that may be too. A Florida man is found to be breathing. That in itself is no big story. The thing here is he was already declared dead by medics. 2 paramedics with the Clearwater Fire and Rescue Department were suspended after a man they pronounced dead was found to be breathing.
No, that's when you know you're bad at your job.
My bad. I'm sorry.
The agency said 2 medics from Station 47 responded to a home in an unincorporated area of Pinellas County. Thomas Maxwell reportedly was suffering cardiac arrest. His lips were blue. He was cold. But I was doing CPR and my friend was there and she was doing chest compressions, said the daughter. His chest was going up and down and he was making noises, so his lungs were working. When the medics arrived, she said they quickly checked her dad's wrist for a pulse and told them he was dead.
There's never been anything like this.
I'm like, he's still breathing, she said. He's like, no, ma'am, he's gone. Those are just his body releasing gases. That's a quote. No, ma'am, he's gone. Those are just his body releasing gases. After the medics left, a Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy went to the home to investigate the death and noticed what? He was still breathing.
That's not fake. That's real.
Upon notification of this incident, this is the way it went in a statement, an official statement. Upon notification of this incident, we immediately removed both fire medics from their normal duties
Yes.
and discontinued their abilities to provide patient care. Yeah, it seems like a
60%
solid
of the time, it works every time.
Way to take your work, people.
Yeah. About 28 minutes went by between the initial call and the medics arriving, if you're just curious. And as of this report, as of this Friday Fabulous Florida report,
Yeah.
the woman says her dad is still in intensive care and was seeking a speech therapist for slowed speech, but
Okay.
he's very much alive.
Wow.
A Florida man and his accomplice steal $1,400 in merchandise from Dollar General.
Oh,
They stuffed the items in their shorts.
nice.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Ooh, it's a wild idea, but it just might work.
I have the same question you do. How do you fit $1,400 worth of stuff from Dollar General in your shorts? It happened in Cape Coral. There is a picture on YouTube. You can see the picture of the guy's shorts stuffed with $1,400 worth of merchandise.
That doesn't look suspicious at all. No.
Well, he's a bigger guy. Maybe he thought it would be lost in it. He doesn't wear even baggy clothes
No.
that would disguise all of that. You know what I mean?
And white is the wrong color for that.
Yeah, he really didn't
You have
think
to go
this through.
dark clothing so people don't see the bumps and ridges, right?
Yeah, this
That's
is
not
a bad
fake. That's real.
caper. You know what I'm saying? Just from a caper planning standpoint, I feel like
Right.
they should have worked through lunch on this one. You
We
know?
could have done so much better.
Yeah. Anyway, they're busted. $1,400 worth of stuff.
Uh-uh.
A Florida man confesses to killing roommate after the cops find a foot poking out of a shallow grave. Well, that's sweet.
Gross.
You gotta
Brian
dig a little deeper,
Marquez.
Mark, right? If you're gonna if you're gonna do something like that, it'll take just like an extra hour.
Yeah, it's
Joe Box and Little Anthony.
It does feel Joe Box adjacent. Maybe you farm this one out to Mo Black's
brother, Fat Andy.
That's what I wanted to say. A man in Florida confessed to killing his roommate after police responded to the home and found a bloody, shallow grave with a human foot poking out of it. There's just no pride in grave digging anymore. I mean, the guy does such a poor job that there's a foot still sitting out of it. Police in Fort Pierce responded to a home in the town of Fort Pierce last Sunday. Witnesses said they saw blood and what appeared to be a shallow grave in the backyard. When they arrived, cops say they found a foot was partially exposed in a hole that was 18 inches deep.
Again, I would say no pride of work there.
No, exactly.
You know, I mean, you clearly need some more burial assistance if you leave body parts emerging from the ground.
It's just like sloppy work. Exactly.
We have
Shoddy
processes and
workmanship.
protocols and standards.
Yeah, we have processes, protocols, and standards. I don't know why we can't. He's 22, Brian Marquez, as I mentioned.
I mean, if you're going to do something, do it right. As I tell my kids, don't half-ass it. Right?
No, when your kids,
No, good morning.
yeah, I don't know what that was. When your kids dig their shallow graves, you know that they'll be done right. Is that? Kind of.
There you go. That's right.
That's what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was booked in, as you might imagine, for Moto 1.
Yeah.
Florida woman convicted. She's convicted for stealing thousands of dollars. And this is the tried and true, oft-repeated scam. This woman, again, convicted for stealing the thousands from cystic fibrosis patients.
Oh.
There was cystic fibrosis is a brutal disease. I used to be active in a couple of charities. Anyway, the effort to raise money for it and to help cystic fibrosis afflicted patients is usually surrounded by people who are pure of heart, but not this person. The U.S. Justice Department found Elizabeth Jenna Suarez, 34, guilty of stealing money from Piper's Angels Foundation. It's a nonprofit that supports people with the disease and their families. She stole the money in a scheme that she executed from 2018 to 2019. She was married to the foundation's executive director, and using her copy of the nonprofit's corporate credit card, she spent money meant for the charity on herself.
What?
The jury convicted her.
Yeah.
And her sentencing is scheduled for April. Yeah. Seems pretty
Good day, sir.
yeah, I don't think she'll be I don't think they'll be lenient with her necessarily. And finally, oh, this is the ad, the roll-in ad. That's I'm thinking, what is that? That's the roll-in ad. Florida's invasive Jesus Christ lizard could be harmful to people and the environment. Why is
Jesus Christ lizard?
Why is it called the Jesus Christ lizard? You want to know? I'm going to tell you. This lizard has the appearance of walking on water. It's actually running across the water. It's still a pretty cool thing, running or walking. But because of that, they named it the Jesus Christ lizard.
Okay.
So the creature is native to Mexico, Central America, and South America. And they're now living in the wild in South and Central Florida because people have brought them as pets.
Look at them walking along the water there. Look at that.
Yeah, they've escaped and been released. It's the same reason that the monkeys are there. It's the same reason that the dragons, those is it the Komodo dragons?
Mm-hmm.
There. Anyway, they tend to live along freshwater canals, and they are carnivores, and they feed on insects, including invasive mosquitoes, which also bite the lizards. There is ongoing research on the potential for them to be hosts for these mosquito-borne diseases. So there's a possible human health impact to these Jesus Christ lizards. They also may be eating native butterflies and native lizards, which could negatively impact the Florida environment. There are a lot of problems with the Jesus Christ lizard. It does run across the water. As Kim said, it's kind of wild to see. And they have these oversized feet, and that allows them to make this passage across the water. But they say that biologists are going to watch this, but again, this Jesus Christ lizard, as it's called, could be harmful to both people and the environment in the ways in which I mentioned. So with that, my friends, I want to conclude this edition of Friday Fabulous Florida.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now, I hear.
I don't like to do it, and it's not easy to do it, but we must do it. We must choose a favorite. You in the chat who are watching live, you are watching in replay. Please indicate now your favorite. Do it now before you listen to us discuss it. If you're watching in replay, put in your comments what would have been your favorite, and let me remind you of what the favorites are. Yes, thank you. The Florida woman who pulls the loaded gun on the McDonald's worker over the free cookies. The Florida man found breathing after medics declared him dead. A Florida dude and his accomplice stealing $1,400 in merchandise from the Dollar General store by stuffing the items in their shorts. The Florida man confessing to killing the roommate after the cops find the roommate's foot poking out of a shallow grave. A Florida woman convicted of stealing thousands meant for cystic fibrosis patients. And finally, the invasive Jesus Christ lizard in Florida that could pose a threat to both the environment and to people. We need a favorite. It's like choosing between children, but we must choose. And
there's also a poll that's up right now, and there are already 73 votes. So keep on voting, people.
All right, keep on voting. We will mention our favorites. And I know these are stories that involve some pretty nasty things. Murder and shooting and pulling a gun and stealing. But these are the things that make up the competition for today. So I ask you, your favorite, Kim McAllister.
I would say Cookie because it's really rather Florida-esque. But I can't get over the picture of the shorts full of merchandise. So I think I'm going Dollar Store General Theft.
Wow. Dollar Store General from Kim. She likes the pictures of the guys with all that stuff packed into their shorts. How about you, Albert?
I think the McDonald's one is pretty obvious, but I kind of like Florida Man taking care of Florida Man, which is the paramedics taking care of the guy who presumably died. So I think that one's my favorite.
You're saying, can we get some medics from my dad who just had a heart attack? Can we get some medics here that aren't from Florida? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because it's Florida Man taking care of Florida Man. So it's not the best option.
That's really strong. I will quickly read what's in the chat just so people who are listening, some of them listen on podcasts.
Yeah, and I didn't include the Dollar Store General one, so there was a lot of write-in votes for that one. I'm guessing that would have gotten second place.
Okay. Leading in the voting online in YouTube is what, Albert?
The McDonald's gun cookie. It's a
McDonald's gun
already
cookie,
has half of the votes.
Yeah. The Dollar General getting a lot of love. Cookie Monster, Short Stuffer, Cookie. This is a hard choice. Free Cookie.
It was a hard choice.
Dead Man Found Breathing. Dollar General. Dead Man Found Breathing.
They're very strong stories.
Very Florida.
Say it again.
Grave.
Shallow Grave.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't have I was thinking about it. Maybe he didn't have the proper equipment. Maybe he was trying to dig it up.
Oh, you're right.
Dig it up with a machete or something like that.
Yeah, you're saying, to be fair, he may have dug it in like a hurry without really thinking through the proper equipment required to dig the grave to bury the guy he murdered.
Yeah, probably. To his defense, there's no.
Yeah, that's very good of you to think that through that way, Albert. I'm going to go with, I'm sorry, I can't get past it. I know it's the obvious choice, but arguing over McDonald's cookie is so Florida, being so jacked up on whatever the hell she's jacked up on, that you pull a gun, which is also Florida, and that you not only pull the gun, but you get out of the car. Remember, she was in the drive-up window. She gets out of the car and runs into the store. And actually, I mean, all over a free cookie. That to me,
she still got the cookie as well.
I know, and they gave her the cookie early on, way before she pulled the gun. You know, it was just, it's so Florida. So anyway.
I mean, you wonder what was said at the time the cookie was given to make her fly off the handle. Was it something like, here's your free cookie, bitch? Like, what was it that pushed her to the edge of violence?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. He does seem to have really been energized by
straight up right in, no problem.
Yeah, here you go. Straight up right in, no problem. All right, Albert, give me the final count. It's a walk. The monster cookie.
Yeah, almost half of the votes, 48%, and the rest of the percentages don't matter. It was the clear favorite, the McDonald's gun cookie.
McDonald's gun cookie, and the Dollar General did get a lot of write-ins. So. Might have been a comfortable second, as Albert says. When we come back, we'll talk to Michael Shore, the Ukraine war 1 year in. I also want to talk about the Trump deposition green light that was given by a judge just yesterday. There's a lot going on. And I will touch on the bomb train again and Buttigieg's visit to the people of East Palestine and sort of the recharacterization by the Trump people, the last administration that rolled back those regulations on the brakes. I mean, this is as I've told you early on in this story, a story with all the layers of everything wrong in America. I'm not literally everything wrong. There's more wrong than this story. But I mean, if you look at layer after layer, you go, oh, wow, that's the problem with the system right there, that this could happen, and then that could happen, and then that this could happen. So we'll get into that and certainly touch on it as well. Smash the
This
like
has
button.
been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
I didn't run the close. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I remember back in my early days at KGO, you did that a couple of times. You said, Albert, if I do it, just still play it. So that was me still playing it.
So I didn't run it, is what you're telling me.
No, you did not.
Albert, thank you.
Wow. I think I'm just losing it, man. I thought I did run it. But I didn't. Kim, did I not run it?
No, you didn't.
Okay. Gosh, I really lost it because I thought I